This is TWiT.
All right, I wanted to ask the journalists, and since Paris isn't here, that means you, Jeff, about this article in the New York Intelligencer. Everybody is mad at Bloomberg because it broke its embargo. You remember in the prisoner swap, there were briefings for the press, but they were told in the briefings, until the prisoners are out of Russia and in American hands, please say nothing about this.
I was shocked when this occurred because it was obvious. The I don't know what time that Bloomberg broke this.
7:41 a.m. that morning.
It wasn't until after 11 a.m. that the Wall Street Journal, and it's their guy who came on with it, and I was absolutely.
By the way, the Journal it actually had reporters on the tarmac saying they held it until the reporters on the tarmac said, "Okay, they're on American soil. Go."
They were from a distance. They couldn't even be at the tarmac.
They wanted to make sure that the prisoners were effectively swapped and were no longer in Russian hands before they published
this. Is important. It wasn't
Bloomberg, for some reason, did not. And not only that, but a Bloomberg editor 10 minutes later posted on X, "It's one of the greatest honors of my career to have helped break this news. I love my job and my colleagues."
Schmuck. So two things about this. One, it was not News Corp's embargo. It was the White House's embargo.
Yes.
It was the federal government's embargo. They're the ones who were getting people out. Joe Biden was doing this with Olaf Scholz. And it was their story and their concern. And they made this very clear. So then the day went by, and then Bloomberg properly, John Micklethwaite, who's now the editor at Bloomberg, formerly of The Economist, did it as he should have, an immediate investigation. The byline reporter was fired. She then wrote back a response saying, "Well, but I worked with the editor and I didn't do this." And a lot of people came to her defense. "Oh, you're no." And I think that she was wrong. She knew the conditions of it. She in her non-mea culpa, she said, "I didn't break the embargo. We worked very carefully on this." But she's not the only one. The editor who was involved, the two of them should go. This is wrong. And they put people's lives at risk. They put the whole deal at risk for their own ego of a scoop. Scoops are of no value in this world. They last with the speed of a click. I was appalled at Bloomberg. It was so wrong. Since you asked.
And honestly, I think Jennifer Jacobs, who's the reporter, one of the two reporters who was of course, the Intelligencer says left Bloomberg, but you say she was fired. It sounds like she might have been scapegoated. She said she had worked hand in hand with her editors to adhere to editorial standards and guidelines. At no time did I do anything that was knowingly inconsistent with the administration's embargo or that would put anyone involved at risk. She said reporters don't have the final say over when a story is published or with what headline.
She's not taking responsibility. I think it's all the more proper that she's gone because she didn't take responsibility there.
But what if she wrote the story thinking it would be held until 11 a.m.?
Didn't say so, but she said she worked with the editors, which is to say that she knew what the editors were doing. And and she knew the conditions of the embargo. And then the editor who went and bragged about it, I think it's right to the extent that
he was
person
demoted.
Should also go.
He was demoted, but not fired. Yeah.
She paid a worse price than he did, and that's
I worry that, and I hope that they do a real investigation. I worry that she was scapegoated, that she wrote the story but she didn't release it. There's somebody higher up who says, "Okay, publish it," right? The reporter.
We need to know who knew that there was an embargo, who knew the conditions, what was their process for doing that. Clearly, it's sensitive. Clearly. And Bloomberg has had people who've been in this jeopardy before. Every news organization, international news organization, has.
Yeah.
And it's not about the public's right to know. There was no right to know in this case because the story wasn't the story until they were safely in America.
That's right. I don't think there's anybody in the public who thinks it's a good idea to get that story out before they're safe.
No.
That jeopardizes the whole thing. No. Yeah. Hey, it's Leo Laporte. Hope you enjoyed this little snippet from our show This Week in Google. For the full show, you can either go to our website, twit.tv/twig, or find TWiG in your favorite podcast client. And of course, there's links right below, somewhere down there, for more information.